All right, let's get right into it. This Friday at the Parc des Princes, we're getting so much more than just a regular Ligue 1 match. What we're really watching is a clash of philosophies. It's a huge showdown between Paris Saint-Germain and Lille, and it really pits a global super brand against a perfectly crafted tactical machine.
This quote, it just nails the world that PSG lives in. They're a powerhouse, right? And they're built not just to win trophies, but to completely dominate the market, to grow their brand, and yeah, like it says, to make a whole lot of money.
And that right there is the big question, isn't it? It's the question at the heart of pretty much all of modern football. When a club with the superstars and the marketing muscle of PSG goes up against a team like Lille, a team built on a pure tactical identity, well, what happens? Which one wins out?
Okay, so let's set the stage a little. Let's look at who these two clubs really are in this moment. We've got the established giant on one side, and on the other, a team that could seriously be in the title race with a win here.
I mean, just look at PSG. They're not just a big club in France, they're a global force. Breaking into that top 5 of the most valuable grands, that's a huge deal. It just shows their financial power. They're really operating in a different stratosphere. And now, under Luis Enrique, they're trying to build a tactical identity that's just as dominant.
But then you've got Lille, and make no mistake, they are not just here to fill out the schedule. Sitting in 4th place, they are right in the thick of it. So this isn't some kind of underdog story. No, this is the story of a very serious, ambitious contender. So let's talk about Lille's greatest weapon, their tactical blueprint. This thing is orchestrated by their manager, Bruno Genesio, and it's exactly how they plan to level the playing field against a giant like PSG.
Okay, now this is where it gets really cool. Look at the tactical flexibility here. Depending on where Lille is on the pitch, they completely change their shape. Deep in their own half, they set up in a 1-4-2-2-2. But as they move up the pitch, it morphs into this fluid 1-4-3-3 to control the ball. It's like they're a chameleon, and that makes them incredibly hard to prepare for.
Now, Genesio's whole system is built around a really key concept you need to know: rest defense. It's super proactive. See, it's not about what you do after you lose the ball. It's about how you set yourself up while you still have it, so you're ready to win it back instantly.
And this shows you exactly how they do it. It's a beautiful 3-step process. First, they pack the middle of the field. This gives them tons of short, quick passing options. But the magic is in step 3. If they lose the ball, they've already got 4 or 5 players right there, ready to just swarm the other team and smother any chance of a counterattack.
And it gets even more sophisticated than that. They use really clever ideas like the third man principle to break defensive lines. They push their backline up high to squeeze the pitch, and they specifically attack those tricky little half spaces. This isn't just a formation, it's a whole football philosophy. So that's the theory. But how does this whole brand versus blueprint thing actually play out in a real game? Well, we don't have to look far. Their last match back in October was a perfect example. It was an absolute classic. For a while, it looked like PSG's raw talent was going to win it, after a ridiculous free kick from Nuno Mendes. But Lille's system, their resilience, it just kept them in the game. And then, with 5 minutes left on the clock, Ethan Mbappe, against his old club, you can't make this stuff up, pops up with the equalizer to steal a point. And get this, that thriller, it wasn't some kind of fluke. This stat is just incredible. The last 9 times these two have played in the league, both teams have scored. That's almost a guarantee of goals and drama. So, with all that in mind, let's ground this in some cold, hard data. What do the statistics actually tell us about this matchup? If you look at the long-term record, yeah, PSG has clearly had the better of it. 21 wins to Lille's 6. But it's those 9 draws that tell the real story. It shows that Lille consistently finds a way to get in there and compete, to disrupt the Giants, even if they don't always walk away with a win. And you can see why we get so many goals when they play. PSG is an offensive juggernaut at home, averaging almost 2.5 goals a game. But look at Lille. Averaging over 2 goals per game on the road is seriously impressive. It shows their attacking blueprint travels really, really well. Okay, now here's the immovable object. At home, PSG's defense is a fortress. They keep a clean sheet in a staggering 75% of their matches there. That is just ridiculously hard to score against. But here comes the unstoppable force. Lille has scored in 62% of their away games this season. So you've got this team that basically never concedes at home against a team that almost always scores on the road. Something has to give, right? So what does this all boil down to for Friday's game?
Let's put all the pieces together and figure out the key battles on the pitch that are probably going to decide this whole thing.
Here's what you need to be watching for. First, how does Lille's packed midfield and that ferocious counterpress deal with a PSG team that wants to dominate the ball? It's chaos versus control. Second, can world-class attackers like Ramos and Barcola find any breathing room against Lille's super-disciplined defense? And on the flip side, can PSG's high defensive line handle Lille's lightning-fast counterattacks? It's the ultimate chess match. Genesio's slick, adaptive system against the sheer, undeniable star power that Luis Enrique has at his disposal.
So we come back to where we started. Will PSG's enormous financial power and individual brilliance be too much to handle at their home fortress? Or can Lille's intelligent, cohesive, and perfectly drilled blueprint prove once again that a great plan can topple even the biggest brand? Well, we're all going to find out on Friday.